Welcome to my humble little office. My name is Arkeith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on February 14th, 2024 at approximately 4:30 p.m. PST. Now, I have returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I build myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the same tools I personally use in my day to day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are literally the philosophies I guide my virtually every movement by. I know these tools will work for you because they continue to work for me, and they have literally worked for thousands of other people with varying degrees of success based entirely on the individual's personal effort. Now I can hand you all the tools in the world. Anybody can hand you the best tools available. If you don't pick them up, they're not going to do you any good. Okay. Some people just haven't quite figured out how to use the given tools available. Now, to bring one thing very important, I was asked by a lot of people how to actually make a donation or how to get a hold of my books. If you look at the top of the screen, at the top of the chat room, you will find a link to buy me a coffee. That is the same place. You hit that button, that'll get you into the spot where you can make a straight donation or buy any one of the books and any one of the many different types of merchandise that I am actually working on. Okay, but with that in mind, before we get underway too terribly far, if you do like the stream, do me a favor and give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and then share the daylights out of the thing. It would be really appreciated. Now, before we get started on changing the world economy, looking for my glasses in case you're wondering. Okay, we have right off the bat coming in with the gold. We have Wu Train Rider. And yes, Wu Train, you absolutely did come in with the gold today. Well done. Okay, now, with that in mind, I do hope your day's going well. Then hopefully things have settled down a little. I know it's been really hectic in a complicated fashion for you, but hopefully things are starting to stabilize. Now we have Joe in with the silver. And Joe, I see you managed to get to the shrine and you managed to get your ashes back. Well done. That would be ultimately the real important factor. Okay. Now do go on to say that you weren't able to do confession. Now don't take this the wrong way. But the ashes are the thing that people can help you with. Confession you can honestly do in the privacy of your own home. Okay, you have a personal relationship with God, with your God. Okay, so there's absolutely nothing wrong there. But the ashes were a necessary way of closing things off. Now coming in with the bronze, we have Shadow and Sun, and this here is the link to Shadow and Sun's live stream. So absolutely, drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and then share the daylights out of the thing. Because I will tell you, it's by sharing these connections that that this little itty bitty community can grow to a world changing engine. But it's up to you guys. Not a problem there at all, Shadow. I was looking through some of your stuff. I'll tell you, I have no idea how you managed to get the painting done on your figurines. It's just bizarre. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I bought the 5-headed Hydra, but I just ordered another one. And depending on how I can work the heads around, this means I'll be able to make possibly, depending on how the next layout, I may be able to make a 10-headed Hydra. because I've got the extra double heads now. Okay, but I have been doing some painting. I'm gonna have to do that, bring that back in on next Tuesday, some of the figures and what have you, since we're going to be dealing with it anyway, unless I just come on and do it live one day when I've got time, which is a possibility. You know, it's sort of one of these things that if I can fit it in, I may do a random stream just to do that. I haven't quite figured it out. I finally got through a crack, and that is through a real tangle. Okay, and yeah, I should be in good shape to start actually looking at that now, Shadow. So I do appreciate the offer. Well, where are we here? Yeah, I really do appreciate the offer. And considering I'm finally, trying to hold my hand steady enough to paint those little itty bitty things I see, I have no idea how some of these people, yourself included, get those wee tiny details done. Number one, my hand shakes badly enough, it makes it really rough. But the other part is I may well have the wrong tool. I don't know. I gotta go and get myself a magnifying lens. And I mean one of the ones with the clamps. The neat part about it is, like, I do drop in. I don't tend to get to see your stream live. Simply because, well, my energy tends to go a little sideways on occasion, in case you hadn't noticed, or in case you hadn't heard. And we have now that Shadow is in with the bronze, and well, no, wait a minute here. Blue Trains, the Joe, Shadow. We scroll down here, and we have Nathan comes in with honorable mention. And Nathan, let's see. This is the live stream for Nathan. Okay, so we pop that in here. And absolutely, this is the live stream for Nathan's show. Okay, so do drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up, and do subscribe to the channel. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. Now, I know I talked to you this morning, Nathan. Okay, but Nathan's book is now literally en route. I can't do anything more with it. I put it in the mail. It's up to them at this point. You're more than welcome there, Nathan. Now, how do we go about changing the world? Well, this is what we're doing right now. The neat part about it is I mentioned, and this isn't a question of I told you so. This is a question of I said I was going to do this, and here it is. Your world changes the exact same way. Well, Nathan, I have no idea who Owl is. Unless you're referring to... You're more than welcome there, Joe. Unless you're referring to Owl as in Harry Potter Owl. If you're referring to that, well, don't have any trained ones. And remember, I'm not allowed to have pets to start with. Okay. Nick Atkins, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Well, yeah. So, I do hope things are going well for you there, Nick. Things are changing very quickly. Okay, I've now got a store attached to Buy Me a Coffee. Okay, and right now we've got the newsletter on board. We've got every one of the books that I've got available is on board. We are looking at getting audio versions and PDF versions done as well. Done as well as looking into t-shirts, coffee mugs, this sort of thing. And we'll say, and let us not forget that other neat little trick. Okay, I gotta go and talk to my printer, because I'm going to be I've got to go down. Actually, I'll probably go down tomorrow, because if you look over here, it's out of sight. We look over here. Let us see. Get that out of the way. Okay. These two are the backs of books 1 and 2. Well, actually, books 10 and 11. That's the front cover. I will be getting posters done up. Okay, and yes, if I'm going to get posters done up, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to laminate the things before I send them anywhere. Kimberly, how you doing? Glad you could join us. So things are growing very quickly. And of course, Storm and Shadow, glad you got here. I know you. I'm hoping things went well on your meeting today, because that was a little bit. I know that was a little bit dicey. But as you can see, Storm, we have the link to buy me a coffee at the top of the chat now, and I've just decided to pin it there because it seemed reasonable from my end. And I'm gonna throw this in anyway. This is just for, and I'll pop these up periodically. Grab that, pop that in here. Now, you guys already know this, but this is for people coming in. Those are the simplest way of putting the rules of the road up. Or the rules of the room, if you will. Now, shrink that down, and we have. So all in all, but here's the thing. We desire to change the world. Okay, well, I don't know. Who in here is happy with the world the way it is currently? Okay, we're sitting around waiting for the politicians to make laws that will change the world. Hate to be the one to inform you of this. Well, no, I don't. But you cannot legislate intelligence, decency, compassion. It can't be done. You can make a law, but how are you going to possibly enforce it? Okay, so wait for the politicians to make laws. We wait for the spiritual guides to actually stand up and go, hey, here's how to be nice to each other, and this is what we're going to deal with. Well, that ain't working all that well. Okay, it's really not working all that well at all. Okay, I mean, we've been waiting for literally thousands of years for the so-called spiritual guides to go, here's how to live your life. Follow what I'm doing, and we'll take care of the poor. We'll take care of the sick. Okay, we'll take care of the people that are in trouble. I'm telling you, if they were going to do that, they'd have done it a long time ago. Okay, now, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm actually worse than many. But I will tell you, okay, I've got things in motion. They are going to start to grow. Now, what is today? I got to see something. Of course, what I got to see is, where did I put it? Right there. Now, this month wasn't that active, but just on cursory, this is January. I'm just looking literally. I'm looking at my calendar, at my hard copy calendar to see what went out. Nothing there. Let us see here. Okay, now that one, in 2 days, because I only started really, I implemented this in January. With that in mind, I've got literally one reading that was done. Did I miss something? Nope. Okay. It was slow because, like I said, I've only just started pushing things. In January, I did one reading. Now, if I recall correctly, let me see here. Brain box, right there. That would be 13, 15. No, that's 100, which would be 250. So, okay. So, I have now there was one person that, and this is what I was referring to about going, here's my policy, now it goes into action. I had somebody come to me and they got a reading. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but they got a consultation done with me. I have a check that I'm more to the point, I have cash. I'll be sending back to them. Okay, they paid for it in full, but my policy is simple. You bought something, okay, it's a sliding scale, depends on how much goes through. I'm not getting into that. I will tell you, a purchase was made, and that person that did the purchase, that made the purchase, is getting money back. That is simply because of the fact that, well, frankly, it falls into word of mouth. I told you guys, this is what I'm doing. Okay, this is just me following through with what I said. I got this funny thing about that. Okay, now, I put my glasses down again. It's amazing how often I do that, you know. The one drawback of actually having eyes that sort of work. Okay, what do we got? Okay. Oh, there we are. Yeah, one of the neat things about this is when you set your mind to something, you can make it happen. We don't have to wait for the elite to do it. We don't have to wait for the big CEOs and the major corporations. Okay, let me ask you this. Now, I've got two people. I'm actually in this point. I have not brain bucks, paper. Now, get this. Last year, now, like I said, I will be drawing to me advisors. I will be drawing, people working with me. Last year, to start with, I had one person. Okay. Then I picked up one a little while ago. Okay. And now, okay, and I'm not talking about suppliers. Okay. I'm talking about people that are putting effort in literally to helping me build the empire. Okay. I picked up two more. We are now a 4-person web. And I'm about to swing things around to get a 5th one. I just don't know if they're going to run with it. This is why I say swing it around. Okay, so we are now 4 people. I was only 1, but now it's time to start building the network that we require. Okay, now let me ask you this. In your eyes, can you have a beneficial effect on the world at large with your abilities, your contacts, your effort? Or do you feel you're still subject to the entire energy pattern and belief structure of everybody around you? Okay, that's the real kicker that we have to take a look at. Now, society evolves by people altering the way they're doing things. Right now, we have so many people walking out in traffic, staring at their one-eyed at their pocket moron. Now, do understand, I know that's derogatory, but that's okay. The TV is the idiot box. 1956, when it went public, and the adults at the time turned around and called it the idiot box. Okay. Now, when the computer came out, I started looking at it as a one-eyed moron. Okay. Because it's got one screen, and if you don't do the right thing, if you don't push the right buttons, it gives you absolute scramble job. Then we have, one-eyed monster, because it can drag you away. Then we've got the pocket moron. This thing. How many people have you seen walk out in traffic, or walk into a wall or fall into a manhole cover, staring at their cell phone? Okay. Now, I will admit, I do have, I've got a picture of my other half, like a facial picture that I could show anybody on my cell phone, on my desktop. And yeah, I will absolutely sit there and look at it. Okay, I'd rather sit there and look at the real person, but, well, frankly, she's not here. So I work with what I got. Okay. Oh, Kim, I love this. Is just, Kimberly's going, I'll message you on Messenger. It's absolutely the coolest place to go. If it's not the North Pole or the heart of the South Pole, trust me, there's cooler places to go than where you're heading. Okay. But I'm finally looking at actually traveling. Okay. Which is why I will be in Reno. I am going down to Texas later this year. Okay, and I'm probably going to be south border at that point for a couple of weeks. Of course, when I do that, I won't be taking my computer with me, because there ain't no way I'm going down south of the border to work on the computer. Okay, I will give you guys a heads up when I'm taking off. Okay, I have been asked to come out to Saskatchewan, which is about, I guess, almost in what? I guess half a day's drive. Okay, out east of here. Now, that won't happen in the winter. That's for absolute certainty. Okay, but when you get something in your mind, and this is why I say, in your eyes, can you see yourself having a positive impact on the world? Or for that matter, even on your own local community. Now, this neat little community here, okay, where's my one box? Full count at this point, as of the last couple I picked up, we have 52 and 4 is 56. Oh, as it turned out, I already had one, that's why. So we've now got a circulation of 56 there, and we are at 596 subscribers here. Now, I could give you all the numbers in the world. They don't mean jack. What matters, from my standpoint, is whether we get this message out to people, that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I gotta see. Okay, what have I got here? I'm just doing a refresh to take a look. Well, gotta go there. Okay, and that solved that question. There we are. Now, let me put it to you this way. Working together, we can get this message spread. The best method of advertising in the world is word of mouth, bar none. Okay, and I worked it out. We can literally, with your guys' help, okay, there is no question we can drive the coverage of this stream up to epic proportions. Okay, but the important factor is not the number of people that come in here. It's the number of people that you carrying this message forth out of here can do to the world. Okay, and that's what I'm asking you to do. I cannot change this world all on my own by any means, but I can see very clearly that the world is in trouble. The path we're on right now isn't working well. Okay. For crying out loud, I will be right back, people. Hello, you caught me on the street. Okay. Okay, doke. Yeah. Okay, that was quick. Fortunately, in this case, it means I've got something to do when I get off stream, which is okay. We will be light enough out to do so. But, we have an option. And right now, I take a look at the state the world is in. And I go, okay, how am I going to change this? Well, I can't do it by my changing things, my putting business in place that does what I say it's going to do. Yes, that's a great example. If people know it's happening, if they don't, it's not going to help. Okay, this is just the reality behind it. Like for instance, and this is just, I'm going to drop it back in Storm's in Shadow's lap and go, Shadow can have the best painting techniques in existence. If people don't know where to find him, he's not going to be able to tell anybody. And I'm betting dollars to donuts that Shadow isn't going to go set up at the local bar, at the local mall, or set up a major interview with one of the mainstream media. This place here, YouTube, people can say what they want. They can complain about all they want. The reality is, it is reaching worldwide. Okay. It's that simple. Now, the other neat part about it, and this is what got my attention with Buy Me a Coffee. Yes, they do cost. They keep a very small percentage of whatever I earn. The neat part is that they don't keep all of it. Okay. And they don't take anything if they're not providing an income. If they're not providing a service, I'm listed there and it doesn't cost me anything. Same as the word of advertising, the net that I've got built. If people are doing something with it, I will be sending money back. Okay. If you don't, nothing's going to be forthcoming. GL, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The neat part about it is this. The newsletter, as it expands, okay, I will absolutely be keeping tabs now. I'm going to do the best I can to keep an eye on who refers somebody to the newsletter, this sort of thing. Okay, because I take it there are two ways of doing that. One, go through is to talk to your friends, give them my email directly. If you're doing that, absolutely remind them to let me know. Oh, perfect, JL. Let the people know that, to tell me that you're the person that referred them. That way I can tie it into the web properly. Okay. If it comes through through Buy Me a Coffee, it's already tied into a web. That's already in place, making it real easy from my end. Okay. Now, GL, just because I'm curious, I'm trying to keep names in order. If I'm right, you sent me a request by email. It may have come through Buy Me a Coffee. Okay, but all I got was an email address. I didn't get a name to tie it to. If you are in fact the one that sent me, that picked it up through Buy Me a Coffee, absolutely do me a favor. Drop me an email, a direct email, so that I can add your name to that card. Because like I said, my whole database is right here. Okay. It is growing. But it really boils down to this. Okay. Oh, and by the way, GL, you've just read the newsletter. If there's an addition to it that you feel would be beneficial, let me know, please, because we are in the process of expanding it. Okay, so that came through. Yeah, okay. That's okay. It came through the same. That's what I'm referring to. Okay. I just didn't have a name to it. It says give an email, which you did. You're tied in. That's no problem. Okay. From my standpoint, on my card. Okay. Where are we? Oh, there it is. Nope, that is not it. Why not? Oh, that's why. It's under S. I will change that after the stream. Oh, that's not a problem. I don't mind that at all, because all I'm going to do, so I know where it came from, is I'm just going to put the name that I've got here, your name in the stream. You know, if you desire your actual name on the list, then just drop me an email. You've got my email address at this point. Makes it easy. Okay. But to me, I can just put the call name in here. Now, I am looking at, like I said, I'm building an empire here. But the empire I'm building, I desire to bring people with me. Now, obviously, if the newsletter is not generating an income, doesn't matter who's subscribing to it, it will not generate a return. I also, much as I will publish other people's input, I'm not charging for it. Therefore, bluntly put, I don't pay for it. Okay, that's just the way it is. I am currently in negotiations with a couple of people. Well, thank you very much, there, JL. I am absolutely dead set on people being able to be heard. Okay. And this is why I put the policies at the top, and why I put the policies up for people to take a look at. And we're going to throw this up because this is the real critical factor where it comes to ways to get evicted in one heck of a hurry. Because these aren't even open to debate. The moderators have been asked to very summarily evict people right off the bat if they cross the borders that are literally titled summary eviction. Okay, that doesn't mean you'll get banned. That simply means I desire this to be a safe place for everybody, frankly, myself included. Okay, but I am looking at a number of things. While I'm doing this, the printing the newsletter is up and running. The live stream is up and running. Okay, we've got all the books. We're working on audiobooks. We're working on PDF versions. Okay, and we're working on a few other odds and ends as far as that goes. Plus, like I said, I am already investigating things like coffee cups, t-shirts, the different merchandise and what have you, all of which is now going to be available through Buy Me a Coffee as soon as I have it available. The other neat little part about it, we made a massive breakthrough in Return to Paradise. And now it's just coming together like you would not believe. In the last two sessions of editing, okay, my other half is my editor. Okay, and she is absolutely picky. Yeah, absolutely there, JL. What I'll do is write them out. Because obviously, well, I have no idea, and I will talk to there are people that I'm working with that may be able to tell me how to pull that off. Christine, how you doing? Glad you could join us. But yeah, I suspect because it's email, I can put auth links into it, which actually isn't an entirely bad idea. Actually, it's a pretty good idea. So I will actively look into that. Because like I said, I don't have a size limit because it is digital. I don't have that size limit anymore. And the idea is to link the newsletter and the live streams together. Of course, it has another added advantage. Okay, who did what to me? I just love the way that works. I am linking positive perspectives and positive perceptions together. Okay. Because of the fact that they are doing the exact same thing. I'm not interested in making people unhappy. I will tell you, and I don't know what you guys think of it. What do you think when you're working on reading a book? Okay, when you're reading a novel, what do you think of a scene that brings emotions to the surface? Okay, that really brings brings your emotions to the surface. Is this a good way to write, in your opinion? I think this is kind of a rhetorical question, but I figured I might just as well ask. Okay, I've got to get in touch with a few people, but things have gotten absolutely out of hand. Like I was telling Storm in LA the other day. They talk about having a tiger by the tail. I'm really starting to debate who's got who. Okay, because I'm telling you, the speed this looks like it's going to grow is going to be nothing short of miraculous. I just have to stay focused on it. I'm going to have to evict him. He keeps drinking all my coffee. But, what do we got? Well, that's easy, Jill. Number one, I get up in the morning somewhere between midnight and 3 o'clock most of the time. I'll write for 2 or 3 hours. I've got multiple different projects I'm writing. Okay, but I'll write for 2 or 3 hours. Then I'll get up, run around a little bit, as in maybe go up front, get breakfast, get my coffee done, come back, write something else. It's a really weird routine from the standpoint of I get up in the morning whenever I start, like this morning, for instance. Let's get this out of the way. This morning is the 14th. So, I went to bed last night at approximately 9:30. Okay, 9:30 last night. But I was up at 12:30 this morning, as in half an hour after midnight. I was up. I was up from then writing until 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, finished writing at about 6 in the morning. Then turned around at 6 o'clock in the morning. I turned around, connected with my other half at about 7 this morning, connected with her, and we spent the next 2 hours editing a chunk of stuff I'd already written. Okay. We went separate directions for the day, because remember, she's not in the same city. Okay, so she went and carried on with her day. I went and wrote for another hour and a half, okay, on another part, and then came home, and well, here I am. This is a normal routine. Okay, now granted, the editing part or the transcribing part is done 3 hours a day on 2 days and only an hour for the other 3. Okay, but this is what I call a routine. And you got to remember, I'll write for an hour, I'll get up and go move something. Like, for instance, I've got, let's see, 14, I think I've got 20 books, 20 physical books in queue to read cover to cover. Now I read 3 at a time. Okay. Because I don't have enough to do, so I figured I'd go that routine. But when I talk about this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, I'm telling you, if you desire to change your life, you gotta learn to communicate properly. Okay. And this is why I'm reaching out to key people and going, this is what I'm aiming at doing. Chad, how we doing? Glad you could join us. And let me just pull something up here. Pull up that, and then we go down and we find Chad. There we are. This is the link to Chad's archives. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do subscribe to the show, to his channel, and share the daylights out of it. The reason I share these streams is because, frankly, what happens is I get a staggering amount of support and encouragement from you guys, both here and in the comments, in emails. I do try and get back to them all. I know there's one person I haven't gotten back to. I keep going, I gotta listen to it. Okay, I gotta listen to what she sent. And I'm waiting for one person to show up in the room to let them know. I did leave a comment, but the reading in the morning, I forgot there. Jail, I forgot one thing where it comes to the writing. When I get up first thing in the morning, there's two things I do. Well, my morning routine is simple. Regardless of when I get up, do what I've got to in the washroom, and get this. This little book literally lays it out. Okay. Believe in yourself and follow your dreams. Okay. My routine for first thing in the morning. I get up, do what I have to in the washroom, come back, make my bed, get dressed, go up front and grab my coffee. Then I come back, read a few pages out of each of 3 books, do my journaling, and then get on to writing. Normally, I've got at least one show on the go that I'm listening to, like on the computer, because I've got the computer that I write on, or I'm writing by hand. If I'm doing my writing by hand, I'll probably have one show on here and music videos or another show on my second monitor. Okay, and this is at the same time. Okay, I don't necessarily say this is a good thing for other people, but I don't do one thing at a time. Okay, now what I'm starting to do is find ways to enhance my view. Okay, and this is why I've started dropping an advertisement dropping the heads up that the stream is coming on, but I'm doing it 24 hours ahead now. Instead of just, oh, by the way, I'm going live in a minute and a half. Okay, so I've taken to putting the heads up out the morning before the stream. So of course I didn't put one out this morning because I'm not going out on Thursday. So tomorrow morning when I get up, I will put a warning out that yes, on Friday night at 4:30 Pacific, we're going live. And I'll have the topic laid out, that sort of thing, all set in motion. Okay, this is the same thing I'm going to tell you. If you've got a live stream yourself, and I know the rest of the guys that are in here already know this. If you have a live stream yourself, absolutely turn around and let people know ahead of time. Okay, I change my routine on a heartbeat. Okay, and this is why sometimes I'll say I'm going to be on at this hour at this time, and I won't show up. That's because my health is not absolutely perfect yet, although it's getting better. Okay, I do, when somebody orders a physical book, I give myself 3 days leeway, 3 business days. One of the biggest reasons is this. It's this funny little problem where the post office, they close. So sometimes I can't get there before they close. If I get there after, well, it ain't going. Okay. Email stuff, on the other hand, if I get a subscription for the newsletter, or when they become available for the ebooks, they will go out as soon as I get the message. Okay. And then just keep things in track. This desktop calendar I've got, I use to make absolutely certain I can glance at it at the end of the month and goes, here's what came in. Now, what do we got going on? Okay, we're sitting good. And right now, I'm looking at this going, well, I gotta take a peek. Let's hit that and refresh it and see what we're sitting on. Okay, now, the thing you got to remember, whatever you do, and this is where karmic law number 3 comes in, energy out, energy in. You desire your world to change. If you desire our society, and I don't care where you are in the world, okay, you're still part of the global community. Okay, now I will give you this. If you happen to live in the heart of Borneo, you're not listening to this. Okay, not likely anyway. If you happen to live deep in the Amazonian jungle, my guess is you don't have a lot of computer of satellite coverage, and I certainly don't feel you got much in the way of Wi-Fi. Okay, but you're still part of the community. I do not believe in first, second, and third world countries. And I love the fact nobody talks about the second world countries. It's all, you're either first world, you're better than everybody else, or you're third world, you're the bottom of the bucket. I'm telling you, I have a life here. I don't get out of the house, but I am happier without a whole pile of stuff around. I don't know, but I figure if they're, Jill's going, yeah, what is second world? I look at it going, if you're going to claim a first world country and a third world country, there's got to be a second, and you can't get to a third. But what is that? Okay, in my eyes, it's very simple. People that go, I'm in a first world country and you're in a third world. The people claiming that, in my opinion, are very caught up in ego. Anthony, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And Anthony's going, so how do you think we should begin to change societal evolution now? In the States, my president is working his backside off, trying to work with contrary Republicans to make good social changes. Here's to start with, how you start it is literally in your own house. Well, more to the point, in your own head. Now, I'm not going to, the one thing we don't do, okay, yeah, and that is very much the case. So many people are caught up in literally the, I want to keep all my stuff. What are we here? Jill goes, I think the new phrase is multipolar powers, especially with growing importance of the BRIC countries. Well, here's the thing. You start in your own mindset. Understand all of the people that have more money than you, more political clout, they are no better than you are. Okay. It's going to be us educating the younger generation that's coming up. If you've got the backbone to get into politics, into politics or to run a company, that's how we change it. Okay. We are not talking about changing it overnight. We are talking about starting now. Okay. Let's face it. The Grand Canyon literally was built over centuries. I prefer not to take that long. Okay. But it was started centuries ago by one little drop of water going the same direction, and people repeatedly doing it. As a society, we can do exactly the same thing. Lead by example. Now, the politicians have the advantage. Okay, and the major media moguls, or the major moguls, have an advantage. Absolutely. They've been at it longer. They've jumped on the wagon, and they're strong enough to knock most of the small players out of the equation. Okay, what nobody has ever managed to do was stop a thought line. Okay, they've tried, but the real key to changing it now is is ask yourself this, and I'll put this one directly to you, Anthony. Okay. In your case, do you actually own a business yourself? And this, you don't have to answer if you'd prefer not to. There's no problem there. Okay. I own mine, and this is why I'm saying this is what I'm doing. Okay. The people I've got working with me, okay, and I've got 4 now that are locked in, that we've got things set in motion. I will turn to them and go, okay, this is what I'm aiming for. Now, this is what I'm prepared to do with it. What do you require for me to make that happen? Okay. And, that's exactly how we start this, is take a look at what's going on in your life. Are you content with it? If you're not, it's time to start changing the things that are going on at your own home, in your own head first. When I first started cutting back the amount of sleep I was getting, and it was by accident in all fairness, I'd heard a lot of people say, oh, you got to have 8 hours of sleep a night. And I'm thinking, that's a great idea, but that means I'm sleeping a third of my life away. Okay. How did I go about changing that? Well, it was real simple. I did a little bit of mathematics, and here's what I found out. And again, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Run the math yourself. I decided, okay, what happens if you don't lose your quality of life? Okay, in other words, your health maintains, your energy levels maintain. What happens if you cut your sleep from 8 hours a night to 4 hours a night? Okay, what I found is that you gain about a month and a half living time. In other words, you've got all this productivity time that you can change your world for what you consider the better, not for what I do. Okay, it works out to about a month and a half, 365 days times 4, divide that by 24. You'll see the answer. LA, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The thing is, the people that are in the political field right now, that are in the influential points, are the people that are right now absolutely indoctrinated. They've been taught the same thing, and this is why I don't get mad at them. They've been taught, in order to get ahead, you got to have all this stuff. Okay, let me put it to you this way. I think I got it in my pocket. Okay. Now, in Canada, okay, and I'm sure you guys have it. In Canada, that's $1. Okay, we call it loony. I call a lot of people loonies. But, yeah, I can understand that all too well, Joe. Yeah, Joe goes, I still get many emotions every time I read my dream journals. And that's just reading one. Reading a certain dream. Absolutely. Now, here's the thing. That's $1. Okay, we go back 100 years, and you'd be dragging a cow around to register how wealthy you were. I'm telling you, call that a cow. Go ahead, it'll complain. Call that a cow. Which would you rather do? Drag 100 of these guys around so you can buy something, or grab 100 little discs like this. This is just a barter system. But the people that are sitting in the upper decks are looking at it. Farron, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The people that are sitting in the upper decks are going, I need my stuff. And to 7,000 years ago in ancient Egypt, they said the absolute same thing. We want all the stuff. We want all the money. We're taking it with us. So we're going to bury it with us. And that worked out really well. Okay, you notice in the bottom of the pyramids, there's still a whole bunch of stuff. And skeletons. They didn't take any of it with you. I'll guarantee every one of you is going to die at some point. Some of you, like me, get a little bit more of a run at it. We get a little more practice. Rest assured, don't. If you can get it right the first time, take it. Okay. But now, Jiell's going, you should do stand up. I do. You see me get up and walk away. The reality of it is I can't stand up that long, so I don't bother. But one of these days, I got told that before, and I looked at the person, I said, why? And she goes, you're absolutely hilarious. I said, I haven't said anything funny. Anthony goes, I'm 71 now and tried my best to manage ideas back in the 70s. In fact, I posted info regarding the ones of us who are retiring and being treated like working class citizens. That's fabulous, Anthony. Okay. I'll be 61 in 3 months now. As a matter of fact, almost 3 months to the day. But like you, I started doing this a long time ago. The thing is, it's kind of like I hate walking into a wall. I have the same problem. Every time I bang my head, I can't see straight. I know I've got to go and get my eyes checked because these glasses are getting fun to drive with. Although I know if I stay on the sidewalk, I won't run into half as many cars, but only half as many. But I will tell you, I've stopped wearing my glasses a lot of the time, which is why it jumps between. I used to be with the problem. I could hold my glasses right there and not be able to physically see them. But I found a way to actually change that. Not by eye surgery, by exercise. Sure, put that down, forget what I did with it. I kid you not, I swear I've got Kraft's disease. Yeah, well, that's the nice part. I'm actually, Ferret's going, you'll have to go down to LA Moon. That's the only thing I can do. No, in all fairness, Ferret, it isn't. But I do agree with you. LA's got one heck of a gift. Oh. Well, Anthony, I feel for you regarding the stroke. I only had one. I only have one stroke and one blown knee. On the other hand, I've been clinically dead 9 times, I'm absolutely certain of, and a possibility of a 10th. And we're just not going to count the number of heart attacks. Okay. I did, however, find that being epileptic, if you have a fatal seizure, it can kill off, pardon the pun, debatable if it was intended, but it actually works out nicely. Had a fatal seizure, no more seizures. I don't even need marijuana or anything else to stop the seizures. I just died. It worked well. It worked well. Don't do it. It really does screw up your social life. Also plays havoc with understanding what you're up to. But one thing I will tell you, the nice little part about it is by us focusing and the number of people, yeah. I'm glad to hear that, Ellie. Yeah. Ellie goes, I'm not in pain. And she goes, happy for that. Absolutely. But I will tell you, there's some work we got to do when I get down there. Okay. And the nice part about it is I now figured out how to do this the right way. Oh, not a problem, Anthony. I'll get a kick out of it. Apologize for adding insight or adding information into the streaming here. That's what we do here. Okay. What we don't do is tell people that their opinion is wrong. Okay. Okay, or we don't start promoting any type of political belief. Okay, yes, you can say I believe in these people and leave it at that. But nobody's political belief or spiritual guideline is better than the next. What is happening in here that is absolutely phenomenal, and I call this a microcosm because this is what I desire to see create a shockwave in the world out there. I'm not worried about the numbers in here too much. I look at them for reference. That's all. Okay. But I look at it this way. Okay, I've always looked at Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders, the guy that built what is now KFC. I've always looked up to his way of doing it, in as much as, from my understanding, at 65 he opened his first chicken stand. 4 months later, he closed the doors because people wouldn't do it his way. Okay, then he reopens it again. Okay, and here he is. Granted, 30 years later, he's a household name. Okay, I intend to take this empire that we're building here and drive it right through the roof. Now, the neat part about it is I figured out how to do a lot of that, figured out how to take a lot of people with me. Okay, like I said, that means the people that are backing me up, the people that are supporting me in one way or another, the actual customers that are utilizing my services, buying my merchandise, all of these people are included in that algorithm to the tune of 80% of my net profit, meaning I'll take care of my own living expenses first. Absolutely. Okay. And I absolutely encourage you to do the same thing. Okay. And by the way, I know this is going to sound weird, Anthony. You go, I'm not wealthy, but I'm retired. From what I'm seeing of, and just the little bit I've seen here and I felt here, you may not be monetarily wealthy, but boy, do you have a wealth of energy around you, and the people around you have got to look up to you. Okay, that is wealth that all the money in the world will not buy. Okay, they say power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, if that's the case, then the theological God is from any religion. If absolute power corrupts absolutely, then we have to look at that and go, every theological God, they all are purported to have absolute power. Therefore, does this not by rational extrapolation mean they're all absolutely corrupt? I don't believe they are, personally, because I don't believe that power corrupts. I believe fear corrupts, and acting on said fear. Now, I don't fear dying. I'm not about to promote death. I will tell you all. I don't care what you believe. The odds are extremely high you're going to die. Okay, it's just that simple. Okay, we all do it. Some of us from time to time get a little bored, die again, it's kind of like taking a nap. Actually, I had a girlfriend that looked at me one day and she goes, so this was a couple of years into the relationship. And she goes, so Keith, okay, and that wasn't in all fairness what she called me, but it was polite. She goes, Keith, so you're telling me if we're walking through the mall and you hit the floor with a heart attack, just tell the EMT to stand back for a minute, you're just taking a nap. I said, yeah, pretty much. Because what happens is my blood pressure goes up and it stops my heart. Of course, my heart stops, my blood pressure drops. As soon as the blood pressure comes back down, my heart starts up again. It's great. It's kind of like the old Model T Ford. Crank it and away it goes. And what we're doing here, by changing your mindset, by just simply offering a different way to look at the world. If you can wrap your brain around the idea that the way you're looking at the world can be altered. You can break addictions without withdrawal. Yes, I've got the key to doing that. Tried and tested against alcohol addiction, drug addiction, eating addiction, okay, sex addiction, the whole 9 yards. All of them can be beaten. Now, I'm no medical doctor, so this is something to do in tandem with what professional medical people are telling you. Okay, it is not shall we say, a fist up and say, hey, just shaft everything and do it the way I'm telling you. You can do it any way you'd like. Okay, I've seen people open doors by running at them literally head first. Now, it's a way to open the door. My head would certainly take it. I'm thinking it's a bad idea. Okay. It's kind of like, I remember when I first moved into a place, when I left my now ex-wife, I was living on the 3rd floor. My mom came over and we went to head out. And she goes, Keith, aren't you going to lock the balcony door? I looked at her and I said, Mom, I'm on the 3rd floor. It's broad daylight. I'm overlooking the main parking lot. If somebody wants to get up here and come through my balcony door, they're welcome to whatever they get. And I do not like the fact that's happening. Don't mind me. Vertigo is a real problem on occasion. So I turn a little bit of air on. That should help. But if I'm not moving around very much right now, that's why. Like I said, health isn't necessarily great. Oh, yeah, absolutely. LA goes, I'm not wealthy, just tired, but rich in friendships and love. I think that's the ultimate wealth. And I have a home and food in the fridge. Life is good, not perfect. Very much like mine. That the reality is wealth is not a matter of finance. Because I will tell you, and this is going to sound really twisted, but you can have all the material stuff you've ever dreamed of. When you die, you're not taking it with you, but what you will take with you is the memories of how you treated people and how people treated you. Those will go with you and will be carried into the next life. Now, you don't have to take my word for it, but I will tell you now, get this, to give you an idea how much impact an individual can have. About 5 years ago, maybe a little longer, I went to my bank, and I asked my bank manager, right? I says, do you guys actually have an actual savings account? And they went, yeah. The guy goes, yeah, we absolutely do. It doesn't pay much, but it is a savings account. I looked at him and I said, oh, really? I said, let me ask you. I said, my understanding is your savings account offers 0.25% interest. He goes, yeah, well, like I said, it doesn't make much. I said, that is true. But what that means is if I put $100 into the bank, your bank is going to give me, at the end of the full year, your bank is going to give me 25 cents back. He goes, yeah. He says, like I said, it's not much. I said, yeah, well, ignoring what the bank is making off my money, let's just look at the reality. I says, that bank account, you're going to give me 25 cents back. But what you didn't tell me is every month you're going to charge me $10. Okay. And he goes, yeah. I says, well, in 12 months, I'm going to pay $120. And you're going to give me 25 cents back. Okay. Now, that said, at the end of the year, I've lost $119.75. And you call this savings. He says, well, I never thought of it that way. I said, I don't doubt that. Right. He says, but how did you come up with it? He said, I went to school to learn how to bank. I says, please tell me that you didn't go there thinking they were going to tell you how to make money for you. I says, they told you how they were going to make money. Right. Well, here's one of the funny part about it. This bank manager went and talked to his superiors clearly because I now have a savings account that when I put money into it, it costs me absolutely nothing. Absolutely not a plug nickel. Okay. I've got a bank account in my bank that I literally can put money in and it will grow. It doesn't pay well, but it doesn't lose anything. This is a true savings account. Okay. And how do you build that? There's a lot of ways of doing it, which is one of those things. And quite literally, we're going to look at it on, we're going to look at that specific problem on, as a matter of fact, we are going to mark that down right now. I've got my tracker here for what I'm talking about. So, on Saturday, as in the 17th of this month, okay, we are going to look at effective savings for your personal account. Now, do understand, this will also apply to your business, into your business savings. But we will cover that in very fine detail on Saturday. Okay. But I, being just a simple individual, okay, went to a bank manager and said, look, this is the fail thing. This is the failing that you're doing. It had an impact. They changed what they were doing. Okay. And now the people, all the people in the bank I'm in, all of them can get this savings account that doesn't cost a nickel to have open. Doesn't cost them a thing. Doesn't pay much in the way of interest. But who cares? Okay, you're putting your money into a bank and it's making a little bit of money and staying there. Okay, without you doing anything. Now, this is what I'm talking about changing the world. Little people like myself, like you, I'm no different than you are. Okay, January 3rd, I was down to $624.95 to my name. Okay, I'm not a multimillionaire. And yet, I have shown major corporations how to make money. Okay, how to actually make things work. Well, why haven't you been doing it for yourself? I didn't care. For me, it didn't matter. I never saw money as a viable thing. On the other hand, I should have. Okay. Where are we here? Put my glass down, can't see. Funny thing is, I can see fine. What I can't see is the computer. Well, here's the thing, LA. I tried going to a credit union. And these geniuses literally told me, now I've got a bank I've been dealing with for 40 years. These geniuses told me the only way we can open any account, like I told them, I want to open an account in your credit union. Oh, unless you close every other account you've got, we can't open it. I looked at them and I said, you can keep your money. I'll keep mine. Okay, that's greed at a staggering level. Oh, yeah. I'm guessing, JL, that you don't have to pay to use the bank at your end. You know, the stupid part is that from my standpoint, it boils down to this. I go where I'm welcome. Okay, it turns out really neat. With the help I got in setting up Buy Me a Coffee, I now have a storefront that I can literally, I pay for it if I make a sale. Then they take a percentage of what gets sold, but I only pay for it for what I sell. If it's just sitting there doing nothing, no harm. Now, that's a company I can stand behind. Okay. And yeah, oh, by the way, GL, I know, like, I've got friends from Britain. Okay, and many other places in Great Britain there. But the thing I get a kick out of, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I hate being wrong, but I do it a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but over there, you can get a head of lettuce, for instance, for $1 or $2. But if you want a chocolate bar, it's going to cost you $5 or more. To get candy, it's expensive. To get vegetables, relatively inexpensive. Now, that's what I've been told. Is that by any chance the same way? Does it still hold? To be fair, this is how I do my research. I ask the people that are actually there. But yeah, we have to pay to use the bank. I mean, it's silly. We get told we've got free medical up here. Certainly you do, if you can get in. But take a look at how you're running your world. Okay, that is the way we start changing it now. Now I'm clearing the stuff out of my like, this is my bedroom and my office all in one. But I'm now removing everything that is not required in here. I've got to check and see what that is. Yeah, something caught my attention. This is just stuff that I don't want on the shelf anymore. It's kind of a weird setup. Something to catch my attention. I used to be an extremely proficient procrastinator. Okay, now, here's the funny part there, GL. Okay, if you can buy a chocolate bar for £1, okay, what does it cost you for, say, a head of lettuce? I mean, it's swapped around a little, apparently. Now, it was a good 15 years ago I was told that. Okay, but, absolutely. Oh, is that what that was, Nathan? Yeah, I mean, I looked at it. Well, needless to say, I didn't get an account with them. On the other hand, my current bank pulled an absolute stunt. Well, I go to the less expensive ones too. I don't see the point. Like, when it comes to buying stuff, and this is again one of the things that we can do to affect the economy, the world now. Okay, I'm telling you that, like, there's lots of people that go, "Oh, buy organic." I'll tell you, there is virtually no food. I wouldn't buy a single piece of food that isn't organic. Okay, now understand. I understand. They mean they're not putting the pesticides straight on the stuff, but they are using the same global water system, the same air system, and the same soil system. Okay, now the other thing that you got to look at is when I was growing up, and presumably those of you around my age lived under the same idea. A kid will eat a bushel of dirt before they die, but preferably not in one sitting. By doing that, we ended up, by doing that, we ended up with an immune system that was insane. Oh, I can I can sort of answer that. Yeah. Yeah, and let's face it, I'm looking at this and ferrets going, dairy's gone up a fair bit in the last year or so. The sad part is the cows aren't getting any better treatment. The cows aren't getting better treatment at all. Okay. But you can bet, people say money is the root of all evil. I'm telling you, fear is a bigger root. And if we continue elevating, okay, who did what? Oh, there we are. If we continue elevating the corporations, the political people, the spiritual people, if we keep elevating them to the point of going, hey, we know what we're doing, we'll protect you. If we keep relying on them to protect us, to be honest with us, I'm telling you, you've been barking up the same tree for 2,000 years. Well, no, scratch that. I've got memories that date back way further than that. Okay, ancient Egypt, they said the same thing, and we're talking 7,000 years ago there. Okay, they said exactly the same thing. In Manoa, the politicians were saying, hey, we know what we're doing, we'll take care of you. Yeah, good idea. Mother Nature did a much quicker job of taking care of us. Lost a lot of friends the day the Mount Thera went. Actually, in all fairness, I didn't really lose them. I knew where they went. Now the neat part about it, the whole catch to all of this, and where are we? Let's just refresh this and see what we got. Okay. And we do this, we go refresh. And Nathan, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. We now have absolute concrete proof that Buy Me a Coffee is where that the Buy Me a Coffee link at the top of this stream, at the top of the chat room, is actually working. If I can figure out how to do that, that would be absolutely an idea. So I'm going to have to take a look at that. But thank you so much for the coffee there. Really do appreciate it. And rest assured, literally, and I keep telling people this, okay, I am going to be tracking what comes in to the point that whoa, that was close. This is my database. Okay, good luck with a computer hacker hacking this one. Okay, first and foremost, you got to figuring out where I am is easy. Getting in here to get to it and then understanding what I wrote might be a problem. I mean, heck, half the time I can't read my handwriting. But, absolutely. Okay, on that link, we've got the coffee itself, we've got the newsletter, all the books that are written, and we're going to be adding more to them as we go along. Okay, I'm working on a lot of things. The key factor here, in my eyes, is anything that gets added up. Now, I will tell you, I mentioned that I'm going to be sending money back, but here's the kicker. I'm only doing it on when somebody has accumulated a $10 referral. It's a sliding scale, so don't worry about it. Okay, but it's a sliding scale for literally everybody. Okay, there's a simple rule in society. When you make a law, and this is why the laws of accountability in this chat room apply to everybody. Okay, now the nice part about it is I pick people to put into the moderator position that I know aren't going to break the law and break the rules I've laid out. They've got copies of them, and they will simply enforce the rules as is. Okay, I don't worry about that side of it. Angels, how are we doing? Glad you could join us. And Angels is in the house, so we have to take half a moment. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to take half a moment out. And where is Angels? Here we are. This is the link to Angels live stream. So absolutely drop in, give her a listen, do subscribe, if you like what she has to say, give her a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. Absolutely, Nathan. It's a weird thing. I had somebody else do that today. I was in talking to a chap in a pet store, and I was babbling away at him, and another customer come in. He looks at me and goes, look, he says, I'm sorry, I got to go. I says, there's an idea. How about if we apologize for doing the job you paid for? What a novel concept. Okay, this is why I'm looking at people that can do things, and I've already flat out told them, you're getting compensation. It's that simple. Now, with the newsletter, I'm not making any money off the distribution of the newsletter or off the charity. And when I say charity, if for pity's sakes, if you're buying me a coffee and you desire it to go to charity, just absolutely let me know in the note, this is for charity. I do not have a registered charity. I will not have a registered charity. Okay. I am simply taking a percentage of what comes in and utilizing it to help people that are down on their luck. Either buy them food, buy them a meal, buy them groceries, including the working poor. I will not be handing change to people on the street. Okay. Not a prayer. Way too many times they'll tell you one thing, and this applies to everybody. Oh, give me money. I'm really short on this. I knew a chap, he asked for a ride downtown because he had to get to a doctor's appointment. Well, buses in this city are useless for getting to places on time. So I gave him a lift downtown. I happened to know where he was going, so I took him, dropped him off right outside the doctor's office. What does he do? Walks down the street, down the block, and goes into the liquor store. Never again will I trust somebody to that effect. Okay. As a matter of fact, I say, like, the same person. A few days later, I overheard him asking for a ride to get to a doctor's office. I walked up to the guy and said, sorry to interrupt. Not my business, but he's heading for a liquor store. I said, he pulled the same stunt on me. And I said, he pulled the same stunt on me and turned around and went to the liquor store. The neat little part, yeah, we definitely need an email address. It's funny. Where are we here? Yeah, the reality of it is, the unfortunate part where it comes to the newsletter is I don't have a printer right now. So the option of getting a hard copy newsletter right now isn't available. In time, it will be. Okay, but for the moment, I just can't do it. Something about, I don't know, no printer. I'm looking over here and no, my printer looks like a Kleenex box right now. But hard copy books, on the other hand, I've got them in stock. Okay, and I will be going down to my printer probably tomorrow to look into getting posters done up of the books that of the stuff on. Oh. I must hit my computer. Did I hit my computer? I did. Those posters, I am going to have them in. I'm going to have them in print. Now, this one here. This is 2. They're only 8.5 by 11. These ones I'll be having the posters in this size, including this one, will be this site and will be going on the site if people decide to get them. I haven't got any in print right now. That's why I don't have a price for them. Yeah, the newsletter is definitely free. Same as this stream, and the archives will remain that way. Okay. But the real key to changing the way this society is running is to take a look at what you're doing. Okay. Take a look at the way you're handling your life. Are you following the 3 karmic laws? Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. And energy out, energy in. If you're following those 3 karmic laws in your own life, okay, if you're communicating honestly with people around you, this will have a bearing, have an impact. Now, if we want to take an obvious example, whether you believe in Christ, whether you don't, doesn't matter to me. Okay. It's kind of like I don't care if you believe in gravity. It still works the same way. But 2,000 years ago, one gentleman showed up, according to the Christian belief structure. One gentleman showed up, and essentially what he did was said, be nice to each other. He had 12 people, is what they report, walking around with him going, be nice to each other. And here we are 2,000 years later with the massive majority of people believing in some sort of higher power. The people have lost the message. And so many people are doing that are absolutely contradictory. It should be, in my opinion, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Not do unto others as you fear they are going to do unto you, but do it first and then split. Okay, now, yes, in both the newsletter and this live stream, the key word is positive. But I will tell you, this book here, okay, this series, novel, science fantasy, it is not for people that don't like violence. Okay, it is bloody to the core. Okay, now, yes, there is some comedy relief. Odd comedy, but I'm twisted. Okay, and there are people in there that are absolutely brutal. There are people that are absolutely wonderful. Okay, but it's one of these situations where when I talk about, like for some of you, you're going to end up meeting me. I don't know which ones of you are going to make it to Reno, but I'm certainly going to spend as much time talking to as many of you as I can. What you will find out is I don't talk as much with my hands when I'm sitting there babbling at people. Although that's usually because I've got a cup of coffee in my hand, not an alcoholic coffee. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. Okay, now, like I've already told my other half, okay, yeah, I'm absolutely likely to have a drink with her on her birthday and on mine. Okay, but am I going to get blitzed? Not a snowball's prayer. I used to drink a 26 a night. It was great. I did find a cure for hangovers. If you never sober up, you never get a hangover. This is a bad philosophy. Okay, but then again, when I quit drinking, I quit cold turkey. From a 26 a night to nothing. Yeah, LA goes, I wish you'd teach Millard that, that skill. I have coffee on my walls. Just let him know, coffee flies well, but how many cups does he break if they're bouncing off the wall? I used to, every now and again, I end up with coffee on the wrong side of I found out something very important. Drinking coffee is not any easier than breathing coffee. Doesn't work any better than breathing water. The other day I was actually at Wings. Well, months ago now, I was at the restaurant and got into a real massive coughing fit. Right after lockdown broke. Right after they started opening up. I was in the restaurant, and all of a sudden I got in this massive coughing fit. And of course, the waitress come over, like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I just figured out you cannot breathe chicken breading. It doesn't work well. Don't try it. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research." I know a buddy. I've got a buddy that actually tried, God knows why, snorting Coca-Cola. This did not turn out the way he was hoping. You know what the trick there is LA? You buy metal mugs. Okay. Or you buy the old-fashioned, Dwarven Steins. Right. But either that or get him to buy the mugs. But no, I'm like you. I've got more coffee mugs around. It's a good thing. I keep forgetting where I put my coffee cups. I'll have 2 or 3 coffees going on around the house because I forget where they are. Yeah, camping mugs works there, GL. See, I like this size of coffee mug because for me, that hand doesn't work well. So I can't, and these silly little teacup hands just don't work well. But you see where my little finger sits. That's normal. It's great. It's a built-in cup holder. But I will be getting coffee mugs done as soon as I figure I know who to talk to, who can produce them. And I will be adding coffee cups to my repertoire. To my, okay. Is it going to be top of the art, state of the art? Well, let's see. A coffee mug, in my eyes, is very simple. It has to be able to hold a reasonable amount of coffee. It's got to have a solid bottom, okay, on the top. But those are the only 2 holes. That's the only hole it requires. Any more holes than that, and we have a problem. Yeah, I think this one was. But I do appreciate the thought there, LA. I think, as a matter of fact, you can give me 10 seconds, I can go find out because I got to fill it anyway. I think this one's 12. But now you've got me curious, and since I'm out of coffee, give me 30 seconds, I'll let you know. Actually, it's going to be about a minute and a half. Okay, that works out well. Now, Angels, I've got an answer for you. I literally went and checked. This mug is a 12-ounce cup. Now, for me, that's a nice cup. It's a nice, easy size to hang on to. Okay. But it holds enough coffee that I don't turn around and have to go right off the bat. Anthony, that is unfortunate. And sadly, yeah, I see even on my feed, it's looking real blurry. And unfortunately, Anthony, I would love to do something about it. I've got no idea how to deal with it. LA goes, speaking of coffee, mine just magically appeared on my desk. Yay. Yeah, no doubt. Now, I'm hoping it showed up in your coffee cup and not just on your desk. But I find this size coffee mug, it holds enough. I don't have to get up every second minute, every 5 minutes to go and get a coffee. Technically, I don't have to anyway. But, when we take a look at mindset, the individual mindset, if you ever want to see a movie that lays that out beautifully, watch A Bug's Life. Don't know who, I think it was Pixar built it, but they say it all too well. One little ant isn't going to make that much of a difference, but get them all mobilized and they're going to change things. You as an individual cannot change the world. You can, as an individual, change the world right around you. And that will have a shockwave effect that will reach from one end of this globe to the other and off the planet. Okay? And rest assured, mankind's already off the planet. They're also off the wall a lot of the time in my eyes, but what the heck? But the trick to changing things is to decide what you desire changed. World, how you doing? And let me do two things here. And yes, I've got a neat little piece for you. World, where are we? Looking for your line, looking for your line. There we are. This is the link to World Bigfoot's live stream. Okay. And therefore, absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and then share the daylights out of it. Okay. And World, in answer to that ongoing question, thank you very much for the link. I actually went and watched the thing. I was expecting it to be a lot longer, which really, never mind. I couldn't find it. Okay. But I did sit down and watch the whole thing. Talk about nostalgic. Really, really well done. Could not be happier with it, I don't think. Well, I could have been. If I logged in there and it said, hey, you're $100 million richer for just signing in, I'd been really happy. Not that I really care about the money side of it, but you got to admit that would be a bonus. But yeah, I did go and watch it. And, it was, when I first started gaming, there was only one hard copy D&D book available. The DMG was the only hard copy in Dungeons & Dragons that the guys had. The rest of it was all in those little paperbacks and those tiny little books. And they were working with those. So, from that standpoint, of course, the first character I ever played was a dwarf. And in all fairness, that particular dwarf, that character, I actually have included in the Yldrbacian Chronicles. This is why I say the Yldrbacian Chronicles, my novels, are written by a gamer, that's me, for gamers, to the point that the series actually has a group of role players, a group of people playing Dungeons & Dragons in the story. Now, bear in mind, the story is post-apocalyptic, but there is a group of gamers in it that are playing Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah, you just about went further than what the Dark Ages were. But yeah, I loved it. In all fairness, and I'll have to do that a little later. I'm not going to go back up front and find it. But I am starting to find people that are looking for stuff that I've got that I am getting rid of. My comic collection is behind me actually on the shelf. I'm going to be going through it. Only I'm not just going to give the comics away. I am literally going to be taking them, and I will find a viable price for like a proper collector's price for them. The only difference is they will hit, when I go to sell them, they buy me a coffee. at a certain price. And rest assured, it will be non-negotiable at all, right? But, I shouldn't say that. I will have prices listed. If somebody can come out, contacts me directly, I may work on something. But I'm certainly not going to be giving them away for free. Okay, but no, and this is why I say no. The thing is, that particular video that you did there, World, was absolutely fantastic. It really was. And rest assured, if I thought it was garbage, I'd have said the same thing. But it was absolutely fantastic, and this is why I say, guys, World Bigfoot Central. Go and see his site. If you want Bigfoot information, if you want the videos, you want quality video, there's where you go for Bigfoot. Now, I will tell you there are a couple of other sites, not the least of which is Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Also has some good sites. Okay, but drop in. I've given you the link to World. Okay, go take a look. But the way we change this world is literally by our own mindset. Oh, I just about croaked. World goes, I even included videos from Monty Python. Oh yeah, I dang near croaked when I saw that. First thing I'm looking at, it was the Knights from Knee right there. We used to, because my brother, who was also a gamer, absolutely loved Monty Python. We'd watch that time and again. From what I gather, because I didn't really see him in the last 2 years of his life. He lived in a different city and I didn't travel. And by the way, neither did he. But Monty Python I still love. You take a look at some of those old movies. Monty Python, Blazing Saddles. They are twisted comedy, but they are an absolute hoot. Okay, at least in my opinion. Well, yeah, but then all the old gamers, you can't call me old. Well, actually, you can. I think I may have a day or two on you. Perfect Storm. Thank you so much. Thought I popped that up there. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty certain I did. Yep, I did, but that's okay. Oh. Yep. But, no, the reality is, if, and that is a very big if, okay, more to the point, when we turn around and start working together, start communicating clearly with people, okay, that is when this world starts to change. Okay, now, when I am starting to include some excerpts from the writing that I'm doing. Okay, it was somebody suggested the other day, and pardon me for forgetting who said what. Somebody suggested I put cartoons in positive perspectives. Okay, and it's a great idea. Jokes I can write in. I don't draw. Okay, I'm great with a stick man that fell down the staircase, landed in the carburetor. Okay, not good on the actual drawing thing. One of the things we have to remember is that this world it's the only world we have. It is time to start treating it as such. And this is not a question of, oh, let's leave it to somebody else. They'll figure it out. Not a good idea. Our forefathers did that. They left it to us. How are we doing? Shortages all over the place, greed running rampant, fear, lining the walls. And we're going, this is the world we've built. When's somebody else going to straighten it out? How about this? When are we going to get off our tail feathers and make a change? That is why I'm doing this. Now, I've been here many lifetimes before with the same message. Be nice to each other, regardless of what your belief structure is, regardless of what your color is. Skip the Malou, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I've been here with the same message. The difference in this lifetime is this time I'm coming out and going, yeah, I'm going to disturb people. I'm going to tell people that it is, you've got to do this yourself, because God isn't going to come down here and go, oh, I know you made a mess. I gave you free will. I gave you free choice. You chose to make this world the way it is. I'm going to come down and fix it. Thanks for playing, but you're on your own. I will still guide you. He will still guide you. He will still tell you this is what you've got to do. It's up to you to get off your tail feathers and make it happen. Aliens are not coming down here to collect you. Now, I gotta ask you, Storm, are you referring to Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Last Crusade? Because I think that would have been an absolutely hilarious crossover. Either that or have him actually playing the father. I think it would have been. Although I think they were trying to be somewhat I think they were trying to keep it sort of on a serious note. But I do agree with you. I don't remember who the actor was, but I do remember in Blazing Saddles, Mongo. Like, Mongo was a hoot to watch. You can't park that here. Wham! Knocks the horse out cold. I mean, you got to remember, English humor in that. Oh, there we go. Shadow goes, that was Alex Karras. Probably pronounced it wrong. He's an NFL player now, or he was one back then when he played the part? I think the black guy from Green Mile was also a football player. And let's face it, they stacked them very big. But quite seriously, yeah. No doubt there, world. The funny, like, I knew a guy when I was living in the bar. I knew a bouncer. I swear, nicest guy you could have met. But I swear the guy's elevator didn't reach the attic. Because somebody shattered a chair across his back. And this poor guy, Jack, that's what we called him. I have no idea what his name was. Right? It may have been his name. But he's standing there looking around, really confused, looking all over the place. Now, bear in mind, he was hit across the shoulders. He never turned around. He's looking around, and then he looks at the ground, and he sees a broken chair and picks up the leg. And he's looking around. One of the other bouncers come running over, grab the guy that hit Jack, and goes right before he figures it out. Jack was not that quick, but he was an absolute gem of a personality. Thank heavens you couldn't take him off. It just never registered that he was doing anything wrong. Yeah. Yeah, world goes, no. Don't shoot Mongo. You'll just take him off. You'll just make him angry. This is why the scene that I just finished writing in Return to Paradise, a wife beater, after he had the heck beat out of him by an Amazonian. Bear in mind, this guy was only 5'8", average build. He was just a dip, But another woman come in and interrupted him. She was 7'6" and built like a freight train. Throws him out of the tent. Then he made the mistake of pushing a young lass that had been brutalized by a number of guys And the young lass turned around, left him when he broke 3 ribs, dislocated his wrist, his shoulder, broke his arm, and then kicked his teeth in and broke his jaw. After she did that, she called for a medic. Medic come by and goes, "What happened, Fran?" And Fran just looks at her and goes, "Fell down." He fell down and walks off. You know, I mean, in my opinion, that was reasonable retaliation, but do understand, I am 100% against war. I know it happens, okay, but war has never brought peace. Okay, it just hasn't. It brings quiet. It doesn't bring peace. We desire this world to change for the better. It's time to focus on the positive side of it. What can we do to help? What can we do to promote the better things in life? Okay, that's the thing we have to really look at. Well, it's a thing I'm encouraging you to look at. And one of the big factors here is this. Okay, this isn't all about me. Yeah, I'm the only one talking here. I'm the only one on the video. Just to be clear about that. Oddly enough, Skip, the recipe for, I do agree with you when you say the recipe for peace is out there. I absolutely agree with you. But I will posit this. The recipe for peace is right here in you. Treat people the way you desire to be treated. If you would like being treated that way and you treat them that way, doesn't guarantee you'll be treated decently, but it does stack the deck in favor of it happening. Now, with this in mind, we are approaching the 2-hour mark. So again, if you've liked the stream, do me a favor, do give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. That would be really appreciated. Now, I won't be here tomorrow because tomorrow's Thursday. Do I have anything listed for Friday? Oh, I know what I was going to deal with on Friday, and I've got a post for it. On Friday, I saw a question on Facebook. Somebody asked, is there any limit to the number of reincarnations you can have, the number of lives you can have? And I'm going to be covering that directly on Friday. Okay, tomorrow's my gaming night, so I'm not coming online. But I will be back, and I really do want to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me tonight. I really do appreciate it. In all fairness, I wouldn't still be doing this without the support and the backup and the encouragement that I get from you guys here. I really wouldn't. Okay. Now, with that in mind, I will be back. But until then, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.